I should go.
In the concluding minutes of the most recent Criminal Minds, Evolution Episode 7, Rossi receives a shock from the past that he had worked hard to avoid. Off-screen, however, things are quite different. Mantegna reunited with Felicity Huffman and Rossi with her character Gideon's ex-wife Jill, with whom he has a past. When he stepped into his office at the end of the day and discovered her looking at the gathered boxes. But for Mantegna, it brought up lovely memories. While he hadn't yet seen the episode, I like to watch them as the public sees them. He did recall filming when he and Huffman spoke with TV Insider about it. Felicity and I have a long history together, so it was exciting, he explained. When I looked at her at the time, memories flashed back to, God, some years ago, working on films together in the 90s. Here we were, dancing together again. It's no wonder that so many people prefer to work with acquaintances in the film industry, especially directors, who frequently recruit the same people. And I get it. Why shouldn't you? However, before that, Prentice approached Rossi about bringing in Dr. Jill Gideon, who assisted them after it became clear that the Gold Star program and its candidate selection process, Season 17 unsubs, stemmed from a study Rossi and Gideon conducted. He prevented Prentice from contacting her, arguing that it would cost her more than the two of them combined, which is a lot. Because of how accurate it is, even if Jill is amazing at what she does, as we've seen in only one episode, she didn't miss any work according to Huffman. I believe she left it as a skip fire as it was. I believe she folded it into a failed marriage, and then her husband was murdered, she said. And I think she was fine saying, I've got to get out of that. And I believe her return was motivated only by a sense of responsibility. I believe she's attempting to clean up the catastrophe she helped to cause. Still, she doesn't want to deal with the organization as a whole, but she loves these people personally. I think it's that classic sort of grotesque experience where you're attracted and repelled at the same time, Huffman told me. Even after their separation, she was the only therapist Gideon trusted, given what she knows about Jill. Prentice believes she contributed to the study because her specialty is biological psychology, which examines how genes and physiology impact our psyche. Prentice invited Tyler along for his skills, but he mistook torture for courtesy. At first, Jill only chatted with Prentice via the door, asking about the team members she knew. Hotch? I left the unit several years ago. Morgan? They also left. Reed? Sabbatical. Jill had processed her loss and moved on, but she hesitated to visit Quantico. She explained, because of a certain agent, I'm afraid you're still working with her. A friend has a goatee that he thinks makes him look very distinguished. Prentice was perplexed because Jason can be theatrical, and Rossi is the opposite. But Jill explained that he left the BAU in 1997 when she broke his heart. Prentice attempted to persuade her to change her mind by stating that Rossi had forbidden her. She claimed it confirmed her point. Rossi can be dramatic, melodramatic, and histrionic with the best of them. Tyler realized why Prentice wanted him to come when Jill saw him. He has a similar facial structure to her kid. Finally, Prentice was successful in convincing her to return to Quantico, so Jill strolled back into the BO, meeting Garcia with a hug, stopping at Reed's desk, and ultimately entering what was once Gideon's office but is now Rossi's. Prentice left her alone for a bit, then Rossi entered as Jill strolled about the office, looking at the old bow boxes. Hello, David, she said, and he looked at her. Both Mantegna and Huffman compare their characters' relationships to those at the heart of the 1952 picture Pat and Mike. It's the way interesting relationships are actually built in life and in the movies and television and all that, Mantegna told me. It will always be yin and yang. You notice a lot of yin. Let us see where the yang goes, Huffman added. It's difficult, distant, and there's a lot of blame going back and forth, so they'll have to figure out how to work it out. The fact that Pat and Mike love and hate each other makes it charged. Mantegna is delighted the backstory has been presented, especially since the program is in its 17th, and soon to be 18th, season. The fans know there will be a crime. We all understand that. But the bottom line is that I always enjoy when the storylines go into the personal aspects of the characters' lives, and this particular one really digs deep, bringing it back to the character Jason Gideon. Thank you for watching. Here was the former wife that had been referred to over the seasons, but we never knew who that was going to be. And here she is, shared the actor, recalling the show bringing their son, Stephen, on in the original run in Season 10's Nelson Sparrow. I love it when these little bits and pieces kind of raise their heads and appear, and to see where it takes us.